Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Mark Causey here from Black Cat Comics in Rockin' Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day and I like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic shop and pick up something fun to read. It's a big exciting week, packed with great stuff, lots of things to talk about today. I always like to start with Batman. This is Batman 40, your latest issue of one of the biggest books in comics. If you're one of the 3 people not reading Batman, you are really missing out. I would highly suggest grabbing those Rebirth trades, catching up to the latest issue. Really is one of the best comics out there these days. But you're probably already reading this, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. Batman White Knight is another book you're probably reading, unless you don't get to your shop fast enough because they've been selling out super fast. They've gone to multiple reprints. Again, if you're not one of the 3 people, if you're one of the 3 people not reading this book, grab that first issue and guarantee that'll definitely suck you in. They've got reprints out for just about all of them, so you ought to be able to catch up to this week's new issue. Sort of alternate universe stuff, but always good Batman time. Speaking of fun Batman stuff, this is the next addition to your Milk Wars series. It's Batman and Mother Panic. If you don't know much about the Young Animal line, you want to pick up last week's Doom Patrol, this week's Mother Panic. A little quirky, a little different, but fun stuff. Nightwing is one of my favorite Bat characters. This series has been really good lately. And Harley Quinn is one of your favorite Bat characters. Unless you consider her a Suicide Squad character, that's fair enough. And if that wasn't enough Harley for you, here's Harley and Ivy meets Betty and Veronica. This is one of the best comics of all time. It's all right there in the title for you. You know I've been talking up all the great things that Archie's been doing, and one of the many brilliant things they have going on are a lot of awesome team-ups. Like I say, it's all right there in the title. Grab that first issue and catch up to the latest one. Superman! Another one of the biggest biggest books in comics. Everybody knows I'm a big Superman fan. Action 1000's right around the corner. Really been encouraging you guys to get into the super stuff. Before Bendis takes it over, you want to see what's been going on. Justice League, another one of the biggest books in comics. Cool Batman cover there. Speaking of cool covers, how about some classic Mike Grell Green Arrow right there? Can't go wrong with that. Green Lanterns, with a very snazzy Valentine's Day cover there for you. Much like the super stuff and the Bat stuff, I've really been encouraging you guys to check out the Green Lantern books. This one and Hal Jordan have been doing really well. Folks that read them really dig it. Good time to be a Green Lantern fan. Deathstroke, from the dark side of the Rebirth universe. Black Lightning, DC's newest TV star. And then, believe it or not, there are 2 Swamp Thing books this week. How about some Young Monsters in Love, just in time for Halloween? If you can tell me the cover that homages, you get a Black Cat buck. And your second Swamp Thing is the Swamp Thing Winter Special. Catching in just here at the tail end of winter. If you don't know too much about Swamp Thing, boy, you have a lot of awesome comics ahead of you. Some of the most amazingly talented people in the history of comics have worked on this character. So grab this Winter Special, and if you like what you read, go check out any and all the all-time great Swamp Thing stuff that's out there. And of course, there's always lots of other DC stuff, like Bombshells, or 3 different Hanna-Barbera books, like the second issue of Exit Stage Left, starring my man Snagglepuss. The first issue of this totally sold out, and I'm pretty sure it's gone to reprint, but it's not here yet. Go ahead and grab the second issue anyway, because who doesn't love Snagglepuss? Or Dastardly and Muttley, or The Jetsons. Yes, 3 DC Hanna-Barbera titles this week. Really great stuff. And Injustice 2 rounds out your DC plethora for the week. And it's a great week for the Marvel guys too. Very excited about all the attention this guy's getting. This is another Black Panther series, along with Rise of the Black Panther #2. Obviously his movie's right around the corner. Everybody knows it. Again, if you don't know a lot about Black Panther, pick up that one, The Sound and Fury, pick up Rise of the Black Panther, grab that Epic trade paperback, pick up any of the trade paperbacks because they're all really great. There's tons and tons of excellent Black Panther material out there. Catch up on as much of it as you can before the movie and enjoy the movie. Speaking of movies, Infinity Countdown, Adam Warlock #1. This is part of what they've got rolling out alongside of the movie releases, sort of loosely tying connections to the comics and the movies. I love me some Adam Warlock. I love me some Mike Allred, who does the art in this book. Great to see Mike Allred getting a really popular mainstream book. Super fun. And a great week for the X-Men. How about X-Men Red? All of you read the X-Men Jean Grey Phoenix Resurrection. The weekly 5-issue sold out every single week. So I know this book is hotly anticipated. Everybody loves Jean Grey. And X-Men Gold. If you got to the end of last issue, you were blown away by the big reveal at the end of X-Men 20, and you can't wait to get your mitts on X-Men 21. Great time to be an X-fan. Rogue and Gambit #2. Or Iceman #10. Whole bunch of great X-Men books this week. How about some Amazing Spider-Man? Been talking about this book for a long time, mostly because of these awesome Alex Ross covers. There's a lot going on in this book. So again, if you're one of the 3 people that's not reading Spider-Man, it's time to get back into that. Spider-Man Deadpool. Spider-Man starring Miles Morales, taking on one of my favorite Spidey villains, the Hobgoblin. And Venom, starting a new story arc, rounds out all your Spider books for the week. This is another guy that's getting a whole lot of attention these days, much like Black Panther. The Venom movie's rolling out right around the corner. All kinds of big stuff coming out with this guy. Speaking of big stuff, The Avengers. My all-time favorite title. This thing's been rolling out every single week, so I hope you've been keeping up. Because again, since 675, it's been selling out super fast. A lot going on in this book. So if you're a big Avengers fan like me, you're really digging it. Daredevil builds up to his big anniversary issue with the Kingpin of Crime as the new mayor of New York. Again, if you haven't been reading Daredevil, now's a great time to jump back in before that big anniversary issue. Iron Fist, taking on Sabretooth. This one might be flying under your radar, but this book's pretty solid. Good stories, good art. Maybe you didn't know that Sabretooth was originally an Iron Fist villain, but maybe you did because his first appearance is pretty darn key. Speaking of key, love me some She-Hulk. This is another one that might be flying under your radar. Unfortunately, this book will be wrapping up soon because people, I guess, don't love She-Hulk as much as I do. But grab the previous issues to this because it's been a really good read. And speaking of good reads, Hawkeye is probably a book you've been waiting for. Black Bolt is your Inhumans book for the week. Spirits of Vengeance is your Ghost Rider business for the week. This is your last issue of this guy. Don't really know what's on the horizon for Ghost Rider, so you want to catch up on this series. And last but of course not least is your latest issue of Star Wars. I know there's some of you people a little down on Star Wars these days. Shame on you. Star Wars is awesome. And the comics have been just really top-notch, especially this main series. But the minis have been really good. The other ongoings like Vader, Dr. Aphra, much like X-Men. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan in the comics. And what an amazing week for all the other guys, too. Let's talk about some Dark Horse. Let's talk some Berger books. This is your first issue of Incognegro. Very, very cool stuff. Karen Berger was the person who masterminded all the very best of Vertigo over at DC. For some reason, she was unceremoniously sent packing, and now she's at Dark Horse, and she's bringing her eye for brilliance over there. Incognegro was a graphic novel a few years ago that was super awesome. Now it's a series. You should pick up last week's Hungry Ghosts for a little more of the Berger books that are rolling out. Can't say enough about Karen Berger and her amazing talent. Can't say enough about my friends at Dark Horse. Definitely want to pick those up. And anytime I'm talking about Dark Horse, you know I'm talking up some Mignola, like Koshi the Deathless, or Rasputin, Voice of the Dragon. This is your big bad guy in the Hellboy titles. Love to see all these Mignola books rolling out. And Tomb Raider is another Dark Horse book this week, because I always like to mention that they sort of originated the licensed property comics, and they do a great job of them with stuff like Tomb Raider and Alien and Predator and all the other things that they do. Dark Horse does all kinds of great things, and everybody should have a Dark Horse book on their list. Fantastic week for the Image guys too. This is a book called Walking Dead. I don't know if you've heard of it. They also have a TV show. Maybe you've seen it. This is the second issue of the latest arc. I know a lot of you read this in trade paperback, but I'm always encouraging you to catch up to the floppies because much like episodes of a TV show, individual comics are just always more fun. Walking Dead, Wicked and the Divine, and Paper Girls, along with I Hate Fairyland, are some of the very biggest books Image Comics has. And I also want to remind everybody that Image does $1 reprints of all their first issues. So if any of these titles this week strike your interest, but you want to start from the beginning, or if you want to check out some of the other amazing things that Image does, grab some of those $1 reprints and get in on all the awesomeness everybody's always talking about. Versus is your first issue gotta have it Image Book of the Week. So I'm always telling you guys to grab those first issues before it's gone. And it's an amazing week for all the other guys too. Dynamite is one of my very favorite publishers. This is Greatest Adventure number 9. This stars all of the Edgar Rice Burroughs characters like John Carter of Mars and Tarzan and some of the other all-time great characters of fiction, all in one big team-up book. This is the last issue. We've got the other 8 in stock, so you can grab the Black Cat pack of the whole series or just grab the first issue if you want to check it out. Legendary Red Sonja. Red Sonja is another awesome Dynamite property that they do amazing jobs with. Legendary is kind of a steampunk line of all the things they do. They have a Vampirella one and different stuff, but if you like Red Sonja, you definitely want to check that out. Star Trek New Visions from IDW. This is a photo comic by my man John Byrne. He's taken episodes of the original show, given them new scripts, and put it all together in one big double-sized comic for you because John Byrne is one of the greatest comic creators of all time, and he's awesome that way. I love John Byrne. You love Star Trek. Match made in heaven. Armstrong, one half of Archer and Armstrong, gets his own title. That's your Valiant book for the week. And Walt Disney Showcase number 1 is your all ages book for the week. So I'm always talking about what a great job these guys do with the Disney stuff. Really great to see Mickey Mouse and Donald and all these guys back in comics. And who doesn't like the first issue of a new Disney book? Like I said, really, really big week. Lots and lots of great stuff. Make sure you check those shipping lists. Get down to your shop. Pick up something super awesome. I want to mention that this week is the second of our big publisher sales. This weekend is Dark Horse, Image, IDW, and Dynamite. You heard me just raving about Image and Dynamite a few minutes ago, as well as Dark Horse. Everything from those publishers is 25% off. That's comics and trades and t-shirts and toys and whatever the heck, anything that's not new this week. This is one of those sales that I really encourage folks to pick up a new book, pick up something you're not currently reading. Take advantage of the big sale to turn yourself on to a new Image book, a new Dark Horse book. Grab something cool from Dynamite, something from IDW. All these publishers have lots and lots of great books. That's why we do the publisher sale, to turn you guys on to something you're not currently reading. So get down this Saturday and Sunday, pick up something really cool for 25% off. Next weekend is the big Marvel sale, just in time for the Black Panther movie. And the last week of the month is the big indie sale. And again, much like this weekend's, I really encourage you guys to come on the indie sale, pick up something from Boom or Archie that you're not currently reading and turn yourself on to something new and awesome. That's all we got for you for this week. You can check us out at Facebook, check us out at blackcatcomics.biz, check out our cool YouTube channel, check out our podcast at soundcloud.com, or just get on down here to good old brick and mortar in Rockin' Milpitas. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.